Greetings. Today we're installing the Symposer Delete Kit for Fiesta ST from Boomba Racing. Alright, so first stage is to take the engine cover off. It just gives a little bit easier access to the Symposer. Alright, so next we just pull the hose that leads into the cabin. It doesn't have a clamp or anything, it's not under pressure, so we can just pull it straight out and then put it to the side. So next we get our pliers, we push together the two tabs of the clamp which are holding the hose onto the Symposer at the bottom. This is a bit fiddly and tricky, just work it in there as best you can. And then finally we just pull on the Symposer to get it out. Now this, even with the clamp away, this was very tight, so it's just a case of giving it a wiggle, giving it a good pull, get a good old yank, and it will eventually come out.
Alright, so that's the sound Symposer out, so you can kind of see that the basic operation of this thing. The pressurized air comes in here, then there's like a diaphragm in here, makes a noise out the other end through that pipe into the cabin, so it's a pretty simple design. So yeah, now we can put this on the shelf. Of course, I'm not going to throw it out because we can just put it back in if we want to return to stock.
So the clamp to get this off, a couple of guides I've seen in the past seem to suggest that you just crimp and then move it down, but it's so tightly on there. What I found the best thing was actually to compress it entirely, which locks it in the open position, and then just sort of push it away. So yeah, now that we've got it off, time to get the new part in. Okay, so first thing that we're going to do is we take the plastic bung from the Symposer Delete Kit and we just push it onto the hose that goes towards the cabin. It just clicks into place, doesn't require a clamp because it's not under any kind of pressure, and then that's it. Okay, so then once that's done, so that this isn't just dangling around, we use the provided zip tie and we just tie it up here, out of the way, nice and neat, simple. Once we have the zip tie in there, then we just use some wire cutters there just to snip the end off of the zip tie. Okay, so now it's time for the actual metal part from the Symposer Delete Kit. So we just get that, push it into the hose, the boosted side. It's a nice fit, so just giving it a good old push. So once that's in place, then we just grab our clamp from before, moving it up with my hands because of course you'll remember that it's in the locked open position, so I can just move it with my hands, get it roughly in the right place. Then I just grab the pliers, I give the two tabs a squeeze just to unlock, and it will flick into the closed position again. So then with the pliers we just squeeze the tabs together and finally position the clamp into the place just up at the top of the hose.
Alright, so that's the Symposer Delete installed. First impressions, well, I don't really notice any difference because I'm just driving along at low speed, so I'm not in boost, so therefore there wouldn't be any Symposer action at this point anyway. So I need to get into a position where I'm doing a bit of acceleration. But yeah, the installation was pretty simple. It's a pretty simple concept. It was kind of fiddly and difficult to get at that clamp though. The two clips you have to push together are kind of awkwardly positioned, and it's kind of difficult to get your pliers in there. Definitely you need to use some bent nose pliers at least. Straight pliers, I don't think you could possibly do that. The Symposer also, whenever you're on the motorway for example, generated some artificial drone, which we now of course will not get, so that's a plus. Another plus that some people have mentioned about doing Symposer delete is the potential for gaining back some lost boost, because of course the Symposer uses some of your boost pressure to generate the sound. I'm not sure if there's going to be any real gain. If there is, I think it will be pretty small, if not negligible. But one thing, some people, I have seen some people who've had issues in the past with faulty Symposers which have led to boost leaks. So removing the Symposer removes the potential for that boost leak, so that's a positive. But I can actually hear the turbo spooling up now, which I wasn't really able to hear before, so that's actually quite cool. I guess before the Symposer was just fully masking that sound. So yeah, all natural sounds, all natural, better for you. Whenever I was still running stock configuration, and even whenever I got the initial MP215, I was pretty happy having the Symposer still in place, because it added that extra bit of theatrics that just otherwise was not there. But now that I have the exhaust, it kind of completes that upgrade sort of, I think, a bit more. And I don't think there's any real need for the Symposer. It's such a simple thing. You know, once you have all these upgrades, you might as well just do it, and then you can just hear all your natural sounds, which is what you want to hear anyway. Like, that's kind of one of the reasons why I got the exhaust, for example, was to improve the sound. So yeah, it's all good. Hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, a share, and if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button for more content